Okay, good morning. Hello, everybody. This is Sharonda, and this is my speaker podcast, Spiritual Sense, as well as my YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. And in this podcast, I go over variety of topics in regards to the paranormal, um, pagan belief systems, and religious practices. And I also incorporate some tarot card reading into this podcast as well. So I started on maybe a week ago in doing a podcast or doing a webinar presentation where I do daily readings. These readings comprises of a variety of different topics. Oftentimes, I don't know what I'm going to speak about until proceed with the tarot card reading. I try to keep these readings um, midday, but sometimes I'm prompted, to because of time constraints on my schedule. I may do the readings in the morning or even at night, but typically the readings will be midday. Okay, so today I'm going to be working with my favorite tarot cards, which are my Secrets of the Tarot deck. I've been working with these cards for the last couple of weeks consistently. So I'm gonna continue with working with these cards now. The Secrets of the Tarot deck. So before I proceed, I would like to state that this podcast is for entertainment purposes. And what I mean by that is if it just so happens that this podcast coincides or relates to your life, that might be by chance or happenstance, okay? Also, I like to also let it be known that when I do my tarot card reading, I typically favor the Celtic Cross, which is a 10-card spread. I also do a 1, 2, 3, 4, or even a 5-card spread. It just depends on, you know, what prompts me either way. But with the Celtic Cross, as I mentioned, it comprises of 10 cards. Card one being on the situation, person, or perhaps some spiritual insight. Card two, this is the barrier. This is what crosses over what you're doing the card on. So this may be what the obstacle is, the obstacle to whatever the situation is. Card three is what's above the situation. In regards to what you're trying to get at or what you're attaining. Card four will be what the root of the issue is or what the reasoning of the issue is. This is the reasoning or the root or perhaps the cause of the issue. Card five is the near past or perhaps what's occurring. Card six is what's occurring or what will be soon to come. Card seven is going to be what the attitude and or morale. Like what do you sense in regards to this reading? Card eight is going to be what's physically surrounded, which is kind of similar to the morale. But what do you physically see? It could be physically see, or it could be in the spiritual sense around this situation. Do you see money around this situation? Do you see water? Do you see a light? It just depends on how the reading is going and how the spirits reveal within you as to what's going on. Card nine is going to be the root of the issue. Well, this is pretty excuse me, card nine is going to be hopes, fears, and dreams. I do apologize. Hopes, fears, and dreams. So this is in relation to how the reading is going, what you hope for, what you're in fear of, and what you dream of. Oftentimes, this is sometimes the same thing, to be honest with you. Sometimes what people are in hope for, hope of, is also what they're in fear of, as well as what they dream of. Okay, so this can very well be what you wish for. This can also be what your goals are. This can also be what tying back to your obstacle, part 2, as well as part 4 being the reasoning. Okay, so card 9 can also give you a synopsis or give you a little bit more clarity as what 2 as well as card 4 is relaying to you. Card 10 is the outcome. This is going to sum up the reading as to an outcome. If you don't have enough clarity as to what that outcome is, you may want to incorporate, pull a couple of more cards from the same deck. I typically pull from a different deck, which is my angelic cards, for more clarity in regards to an outcome. Or I may pull from my moonology cards for more clarity. I find that once you get off into doing tarot card reading, you will begin to notice that certain cards are for specific things. Because I tend to favor the 10 card spread, my Secrets of the Tarot deck cards and my Psychic Tarot deck, as well as my AE weight cards, are cards that you will use in regards to a 10 card spread. Okay. Now, if you if you're a beginner into doing tarot card deck, AE weight may not be a card that you want to start off with. You may want to start off with something such as the Secrets of the Tarot deck cards, which is these cards here. Now, I purchased these. These were the first card that I purchased. This right here is more or less going to be, if you are already spiritually in tune, this will be a beginner's deck. Okay. A 10 card spread or the Celtic Cross will be very, this is what these cards are for. Now, if you also, a good beginner's deck will be these. Now, these are my favorite. These are the latest cards that I purchased. These cards here. I paid $5 for these cards from 5 and below. These will be a beginner's deck of cards here. Also, my AE weight cards, I managed to drop them somewhere, so and I'm not going to pick them up at this time, but give me just a moment. Let me see. Okay, so anyways, for those who have been following, you can look the AE weight cards. Those are good for a 10 card spread as well. However, I do believe that it would be best if you go with a beginner's deck of cards before you go into tarot card reading with the AE weight cards, because you want to begin to formulate your own ideology in relation to those cards, so it can sync in the future with what your thoughts are as to what that reading is. There may be times where you may be focused on one particular thing on the card versus another. So it's, once you have began to work with the cards long enough, you will see how it all ties together. I think that having more extensive, more informative reading, if you begin to incorporate at least 3 cards, 3 separate deck of cards, perhaps even 4 together, you would gain a whole lot more insight when you begin to do this. I promise you, is not pseudoscience, it's the truth. So again, you want to go with a beginner's deck. such as the Cycles of the Tarot deck or the Secrets of the Tarot cards that I mentioned. Now, in regards to clarity, or perhaps, clarity to an outcome, or perhaps a 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 card spread, like you may have a question or a thought, and you might just pull out a card and just say, okay. I think cards such as the Moonology cards, as well as my angelic cards, like these cards here. These are the Moonology cards. And then you have these here. These cards, these particular cards will be good and beneficial, I feel, if you are doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, or even perhaps a 5 card spread. And reason being is because you possibly could incorporate them into a Celtic Cross main reading, but in regards to me, I think those cards are best to bring, additional clarity. Or if you just have, some insight, you may just pull out one card and go from there. If you have one question about something or what have you, those 2 cards will be at best. Doing these cards by themselves, in other words, these are cards that will support main cards, is what I'm getting at. That's not to say that when you do the outcome and you pull these cards, it's still a part of the reading, but they're not. These wouldn't be cards that you would use as your founding cards in doing a Celtic Cross by itself. Okay. Now, so moving along. So I am going to work today with the Secrets of the Tarot, the Moonology, as well as the Psychic Tarot deck cards. And so let me proceed. Now, before I proceed with spreading my cards, I want to make sure that my cards are upside right before I proceed. All righty, just a moment. And I possibly should have done all of this prior to getting on camera. So bear with me just one moment with that. All right, so I pretty much went through the deck, and for the most part, all of my cards are upright. Okay. So now what I'm going to proceed to do is cut the cards several times. And let's make sure I have them upside right. Again. Okie dokie. So, I'm cutting the cards, and I just take them and cut them several different ways that you can cut the cards. Okay, and then you proceed to pull the cards out and spread the cards. Okay, so I wanted to bring some light in while I'm doing this reading. Just a moment as I do that. Okay, now that is much better. Okay, so I'm going to proceed and pulling the cards. We're going to say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Just a moment. Okay, so I had a card to stay behind, and I'm going to say that is what I did the reading on. I'm doing the reading on. It's going to be 2 outcomes. So let's, I'm sorry, 2 situations as to what this reading is in regards to. Okay, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I've already have 1 set aside, which is 2 ones that I have. 1 was left behind, so I decided, okay, let me go ahead with this. Okay, so for those who may be tuning in now, when I do my tarot card readings, I like to be specific as to what I am pulling in regards to the cards, because I do understand many people may not want to view in and are not able to view in because I'm doing this on a laptop. I'm not able to, I don't have the camera capability to where I can, show you what cards are laid down. But what I will do is, pick the cards up and begin to put them towards the camera so you're able to see the cards. Some people are, prefer to listen in, and that's understandable. That's why I have the Spiritual Sense Speaker Studio for those who would prefer to listen in as opposed to watch. And I can, respect either way. Okay, so proceeding along. So I have 2 things that I'm doing the reading on, that this reading is applicable to. I have the 4 of Wands. This card here, I just keep pulling this card. It's so funny because even shuffling, I feel like it's going to all entail to this. Okay, but I do have an additional outcome. An additional reason that I'm doing the reading on, which is the King of Pentacles turned upside down. It says, man over 25, dark eyes and hair, business, arrogant and powerful. So let's proceed, and then we're going to see what the reasoning is. What the issue is, or barrier. A young woman to 25 years, spying or deception reflecting back over your shoulder. I have what's above the situation. What's above the situation is fears and frustration, letting go of emotions. This is what's above the situation. What's below the situation, the root of the issue is this. The reason it says the hangman, getting stronger in oneself after a lot of deliberating and delaying in your life. To the left, I have improvements underway, feeling smug or pleased. To my right, I have Ten of Swords, death or ending of situations or relationships. So right now, I feel like what is occurring right now is I feel like a lot of these people feel like that people monitor them and oversee them and treat them as though they're specimens. Like they're incapable of doing things that like they are stupid. Like right now, I feel like this reading is in regards to somebody who feels like they have been put under a microscope, like as if they're incompetent or they're stupid. I feel as though this is the reason why it's letting me know this is what is transpiring within a lot of these localities and regions around. Like when a person continues to surveillance me and treat me as though I'm a criminal, or treat me as though that I'm stupid, or treat me as though that I'm not capable, and I'm a specimen, something that needs to be studied and handled and controlled. I feel like this is a younger person that wants me to convey this message. She says to me, this is her spirit. She says a lot of them don't realize is that we use them for simply for their image. Has nothing to do with his capability. When I say something, it does not reign as much power as another person says it. And so it lets me know, let them know that we use certain men to convey how we feel. Meaning, this is what as you see this person, this is how I feel. This is how I think. And oftentimes, when you put it on a baby, that means when you have a baby, God is going to let them know as this person feels or thinks, it's going to show by way of a baby. Meaning, and I hate to make this the battle of the sexes, but that's what I'm going to do because this is what I'm focused on right now. So when you have that confusion where people don't know where to go with a person because it seems as though they're not consistent, so things will happen to where the person will be put in a situation where God will have to step in and let you know what this is with this person. Where is this person at? In terms of their thinking and if you can trust this person. And this is how it presents itself. This is how it presents itself, particularly when you're not as communicative as people will want you to be. This is what a lot of this inquisitiveness and stuff come about. So God will present to the world, this is how this person thinks. It may appear as though that's just how this person is. It may appear as though that this person is stupid. It may appear as though is that this person has limited mindset or capability. When you judge appearances, you will come to find that when you begin to speak intelligently, a lot of people want you to engage and let them know how you think. But when you begin to do that, the first thing they're going to want to do is come against you. That's human nature, because they honestly think that they are better, or they think that you are not capable or not competent, quote unquote, as such. And many times this is what the threat and feel like. That is human nature. When you get the ego in check, you will understand that and are able to grasp that. A lot of people hasn't grasped that because they're not there spiritually. So my spirit guide who woke me up this morning and urged me to get this out, this is what she tells me. This is what she lets me know to tell people. And I haven't spoken with nobody. This is what the spirit has revealed into me to convey. She said, we use you for your image. Because when I begin to say something that doesn't resonate, if this person says it, this person has more power in when they say it versus when I say it. Because oftentimes people think because, they judge appearances as such, and they begin to feel as though, I don't feel this way because of how I look or how I've been groomed to look and act. But what they would begin to find out is they came against me to make me act accordingly based on social interactions or social appropriate behavior. This is what she wants me to convey. This is what she wants me to let people know. And this is why they use the men and allow the men to have what they have, because they simply use them for what? Their image. Okay, if you say this is what is above and this is what this one thinks, this is why we pair with this to let you know I feel and think as such. And so when you don't pay attention to it, this is what happens with women, to let you know this is how this person thinks. You may think otherwise, but this is how this person thinks. This is how this person feels. Because oftentimes people won't believe it. They will not believe that a person thinks it's done as such, because they have been conditioned based on what they're used to think of people in such a way, or to typecast or stereotype, quote unquote, certain groups. These people are supposed to think like this. These people are supposed to think like that. These people are supposed to think like that. Okay, so this is what the issue is. It says the Hangman, getting stronger in oneself after a lot of deliberating and delaying in your life. So once you have went through the testaments and the test of time, then and only then will people what? Begin to respect you. They might not like it, but it is what it is. Card 7, the attitude. So for the attitude, I have the Lover's card. Says love affairs, romance building, again within marriage, relationships, relatives, loving relationships you could share with a friend. So card 7, which is the Lover's card, this is the attitude. So this is their attitude when they get in relationships, as I mentioned. When they pair with certain people and they, partner with certain individuals, this is what that is. People don't see it my way. So basically, if I can pair with you, then they will begin to understand it. They will begin to know what it is. Card 8. Card 8, I have what? The Empress card. Card 8 is what? This is what is physically surrounding. So I have delays will prove necessary. Typically, as I mentioned in the past, when I get the Empress card, is in regards to mass communication, meaning this is something that they want to get out. This is what they want people to know. This is what a lot of them feel. And so I'm speaking for a legion. I'm speaking for a group of people who feels this way. They will use one person to speak for legions. That's what they mean when they say a legion. That means it's a group of people who feel the same way, and you'll begin to take on the impressions of a group of people. This is what this is. This is God. This is what a group of people feel. And you will begin to take on their impressions. You will begin to think as they think. You will begin to even speak in their same manner. You will begin to speak like them. And people would think that you're trying to be them. No, 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 no. I understand what you feel. I don't have to communicate with you to do that. I understand what you feel. Card 9. So card 9 is what? Hopes, fears, and dreams. So for card 9, I have what? 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles says money confusion, juggling 2 situations or ideas around. So, she says that, that is true. You know, she wanted to be known that that is true. That, you know, this is why people try to refrain from letting people know all that they can do. Because when you set a standard for a group of people, then they're going to expect them to do the same thing, just to turn around and mock them. That's what she said. This is why a lot of people in different social classes and, you know, statuses and stuff, it's not that they don't want or even desire to move forward in life and have more, but they only want to set me up just to what? Make me look foolish, is what she says. This is what she says. And she says, so, you know, I can understand why these things happen with you. I can understand why you feel the way you feel. I can honestly understand why a lot of them feel the need to always have something. When they see you integrate with them, they feel like you have not earned anything. I can understand why they feel that way, and they feel the need to control and to monitor and to keep you from having, because this is how we are taught. Jealousy has to be taught in certain locations. Jealousy has to be taught in certain groups. You have to teach them jealousy. You have to teach them envy, because a lot of them don't feel envy, don't feel jealousy. So they have to refrain things from them and teach them, quote, the value of $1, so to speak. This is how they condition us. This is how they have groomed us to be. Because otherwise, now as I'm speaking, somebody else come into place as I'm speaking this thought as to who is this applicable to. This is applicable to a group of vigilantes who feel this way. He says to me, he says, this is what they teach us to do. Just to turn around and to make us look foolish. They groom us and perpetuate this fire in us just to turn around and to make us look foolish. And he says it takes certain people who can see through it all to speak for us. Because you can see that this is how they do it. You can see that both of them on both sides are on the same team. Is what he says to me. You can see that. And how very deceptive and how very manipulative these spirits are. And we know those who can see through it all. That's what he says. So we have what? We have part 10, the outcome, the temperance card. It says money restrictions, testing the waters. This is the test. This is the test. This means that this is how it happens. This is how it happens. Is what it lets me know. This is the test. This is how it happens. He says we want to know who is paying attention. We want to know who can see through it all. Who knows? We actually do use this as a test, is what it says. This is it. You would know who knows. So I say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. I'm working with my second tarot deck, and I'm doing a second tarot card spread. Okay, so card 1, this is a continuation. We have material harvest. He said it's about things. He says it's about things. He's saying you are right. They do this to control the harvest, meaning to control what is coming in. In certain towns, we don't want too much of this or not enough of that in these certain towns. This is how we're able to keep certain individuals perpetuating a lot of these behaviors in order to get it out, in order to get that exposure and get that mass attention. He says, so this is why they refrain them from certain luxuries that your everyday average people, just take as, really just, don't really pay much attention to, this. It's a luxury that's afforded to them, and you really don't, you take for granted is what I'm getting at. He says that is true. This is what crosses over. I have the solar plexus chakra. So he says that they do this in the solar plexus chakra. It can go exactly for the solar plexus. It also can go in regards to illumination, like the ability to see. He said, you're right. They do these things to us to keep us from seeing it. They try to contain us and keep us from what? Seeing certain things. So they try to refrain us and keep us from seeing certain things. So I will also pull in the solar plexus chakra and what is in regards to, because that could be something that is plaguing this particular situation, because I did get a revelation as I laid down last night in regards to something that was that has occurred recently in the media. And I do feel like right now I am speaking on that situation right now. Like I feel like I'm being visited by a live person. This is his spirit I'm speaking of, but right now I feel like this is a question in regards to a person who has passed on, and the reasoning, the true reasoning. I mean, all of that mixed was about, but something that I was placed on my spirit, on my heart, prior to me laying down last night, as to what actually was happening with this person prior to this happening. And I feel like this right here is going to give me some illumination on that. Okay, so it says the solar plexus chakra says confidence and self-esteem. Um, Let me just grab a little bit more information. Okay, so the solar plexus chakra, or the manipura, is located in the stomach area. It's responsible for confidence and self-esteem, as well as helping you feel in control of your life. Um, I feel like this person um was anxious about something. It could have been some worry and some concerns that was transpiring within um the household, and this person was desperate, and as a result, this person was thinking of the unthinkable, is what I feel. As a result of this situation, and I felt like um they came against this person to perpetuate this behavior. Is what I feel. Okay, and I'll leave it at that. Now, so what is above this situation? I have authority. So this is what we're getting at. This is what's above the situation. This is what we're getting at. So I feel like the authority in that particular situation um, has a lot to do with what has transpired. Um, Getting back to the root of the reading, because as I'm speaking, other things are coming into place with this. But it wants me to let it be known that um it's the image. They use the image. The image is being used to convey and relay a message. Ultimately, what is the root of the issue? This is the root of the issue: rest and rejuvenation. This person was not at rest. That means this person was worried. This person worried. Um, Now, what this person worried about could very well be financially something, financial insecurities, things that would, help with your everyday, basic needs out of life, finances, things, things, food, things as such, love, companionship, um, to say the least. So I have card 5, harmony. Um, it lets me know it was something going on in terms of balance. Like the reading started off with me speaking in terms of how a lot of these younger women are feeling, but it has pulled in another direction, because I feel like that is in relation to something that has transpired recently. But I feel like there was something going on in terms of harmony or balance. So it could have very well been some financial issues or situations that was going on in regards to this situation. I also feel like it was something medically transpiring with a situation that has that has come into this reading. So when I begin my readings, and I hate to confuse people at all, but it will begin with me being guided by one person and how they're feeling, a particular group of people who feels that way, and then it goes into a bigger scale where something that is transpiring in the media or what have you. This is what this is applicable to as well. So I don't want to confuse the two, and I also don't want to step into an investigation because I'm not medically trained to do so, nor am I legally trained to do so. Okay. So we're going to proceed to part 5. Part 5 is what? The third eye chakra. This person is letting me know he's letting me know that this was premeditated. He's letting me know that this was premeditated. He says that we was groomed for this. Meaning it may not be premeditated in terms of, you know, how you see on the TV in the courtrooms and you know, when they say premeditated, like, you know, they made out a little list and you know the check this off, check this off, check this. He said, no. This is a different premeditation. That means that this was already thought of. This is carried out by the thoughts of someone. That's what he's letting me know. Like this spirit was brought in by something else way before, you know, it hit the forefront, way before this transpired is what I'm getting at. Like the core beginnings started years ago. This was groomed way before it hit the forefront. So this is the after result of that. Plain and simple. And once that revelation has been revealed to you, you just go along with it. You just say, okay, whatever. And you just go forth with it, is what he says to me. Now, I feel like I'm speaking to a younger gentleman that has come in. He said this was already premeditated. And I'm not talking about premeditated in terms of what your physical realm or, you know, in this time and space. He said, no. I mean, this was already pre-thought of. This is what brought me here, is what he tells me. He said, so what I began to do was say, you know what? I just played a poet right along with it. Is what he says. He said, because, you know, the desire is no longer here, is what he says. And I let go and I released, is what he told me. Is what he's telling me now. As I'm sitting here and I feel my heart. And this is how the heart begins to put their energy out. My spirit guide is letting me know. He says this was already pre-planned, in other words. Part 7, partnerships and alliances. This is the attitude. He said this is why they put them together. He said this is why they put all of the people together. He says on a bigger scale, but it's in a natural realm and sense of it all as well. This is called God, is what he says. He says, simple as that. This is called God. You know, you can blame it on whomever, you can blame it. We just bumping gums. This was already put into place. That's the blueprint. This life is such as that. Part 8. Part 8 is what's surrounding. Typically, when I get this card, it means an illusion. It ain't all what it appears to be. That's what that means. It's an illusion. This is it. This is how life happens. It happens as such. You will begin to see how the past, the present, and the future are all sitting right here. And this, the future as well as the past sits right here in the present. You will begin to see that. You will begin to understand that. How hindsight and forward thinking all comes into the same space and time. You will begin to understand that and see that and know that. Part 9, moving on. He says, let them know and I do feel like I'm talking to a younger man. He says, let them know I have moved on. He said, let them know that I have moved on. He said, I know it hurts. Is what he says. He said, I know it hurts. He said, it hurt at my heart. It hurt at my heart. He said, but this is it. I had to move forward. He said, I honestly did this. To bring awareness and to it's respect is what he says. A matter of respect. He said this is simply all what this has come out to be. It's because of respect. Simple as that. He said, but I've moved. He said, I've moved on. And the person that I'm speaking to, it is somebody that is on another, on another side that has transitioned from this natural space to the next. When he said, I've moved on, what he says, he said, I've moved on. Let them know I'm fine, I'm okay. He said, I was restless. It did, it was hard for me to make that transition. He said, I had some struggles in making that transition. That's what he says. He said, this is what spirit guides and the unseen is there for, to help us when we, transition from this time and space to the next one. That's what he says. He says, when it happened, I was afraid. He said, many people are afraid. He said, that's what that anxiousness is coming from, because you can see those spirits. He said they will present themselves in the physical, like in this realm, like you will begin to look at people, and the people are letting you know in the spirit, in the natural sense, what the spirits are calling for in the spiritual sense. He said, you will see it. Is what he says. And he said, I was restless. He said, but I was ready. That's what he said. He said, I was ready. He said, I'm ready. He said, I was ready. He said, I released. And he said they was there ready to guide me. Is what he said. He said, just let my mama know that I'm fine. He said, let my mama know I'm fine. Is what he said. He said that's just God letting you know that they was ready. And he said, but it was a struggle. He said, but once it happened, he said the spirit guides came around in the natural, not the natural, in the spiritual sense. He said the spirit guides came around and they guided me and said, you will be fine. He said, God will let you know, you will see it in the physical people. And that's how you know that the transition is about to happen. She said, that's all. He said, that's what that is. Tell her she's right. He said, you will know it. It's an earning and a restlessness. It's an earning and a restlessness. They can put it on medical. You didn't eat. You're not eating. You're not drinking. You drink, the drinking ain't enough. Or you drink the wrong drink. Or you didn't drink enough water. Then you come to find out you didn't drink the right water. And you took your pills and come to find out the pills are expired. They said, this is it. This is how it works. This is it. He said, but let my mama know I am fine. He said, I am fine. He said, I'm okay. I'm at peace. It may appear as though she doesn't care. She said, he said that, God prepares us prior to. You will already know. She said, but let them know that I'm fine. This is the outcome. He said, so this is what this is. Victory and success. He said, so that transition, it was successful. That means I am at peace. She don't have to worry. She says it's okay. It is okay. That's what he says. I'm not even gonna scramble. I'm just gonna pull the top 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. Gentleness. Archangel Sandalphon, be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environment. He says, Mom, don't worry. He said, I am at peace. I am at peace. He said, it's a setup. What I have over here, trust and believe it. Money, all of the money in the world, in y'all capability. You can't buy this. It's priceless. That's what he says. Patience. Archangel Jophiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. He says, just be patient. He says, because I can see that it's a legion of people that feels the same way. And that are looking to release. He said, but you have to wait till your due time. You will gain that insight in your due time, and it will all come into focus for you. What the reasoning of a lot of things that happen in your life. He said you would get it in a moment's time once you transition over, and you would go, okay, now I understand what that is. Brilliant idea. Archangel Uriel, yes, your ideal is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. So he wants it to be known that you would get it all. Once you get that epiphany, it's within the heart. This is how God works with his prophets. It's what he wants me to tell you about this whole situation and setup. Because a lot of people don't want to accept that. It does works in the heart. And things are being revealed by way of the heart. We can blame it on medical, we could blame it on mental, we could blame it on whatever we want to choose to blame it on. But ultimately, it's the spirit revealing to you what that is. Plain and simple. You can blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. This is what we are contained to based on this time and space. We are contained to what is human nature. We are contained to what is physical. We are contained to what we can see, touch, taste, smell. It said this here is far beyond that. He said, but ultimately, let them know that I am fine and I'm okay. Plain and simple. Somebody else has come in as I give this reading. Somebody else that just stepped in. Somebody else just stepped in. People won't believe it. They won't believe it. They won't believe it. Tell them it's real. He wants me to let it be known. He said, tell them that this is real. Tell them that this is not make-believe. And I think I'm just going to leave it at these 3 cards that I'm working with today. Tell them that this is not make-believe. This is the truth. Tell them that everything that you have been told, it will be revealed to you. Make them aware of that, because people don't believe anything you say, and you will begin to be shielded from enlightening people on things. And once you have received that inclination, you will understand it. Tell them that's what that is. Okay. So I hate to have gotten emotional because I'm not a big emotional person. But I think that's my confirmation, because I took on those emotions and empathy, that this is true. Because sometimes I begin to, wonder and question, and God has to, take me out of character so I can know it is real and it is the truth. Despite whatever popular belief is, that is true. Okay. And I do have my AE weight cards right here, but I'm not going to use those today. Okay. So I thank you for tuning in to this episode of Spiritual Sense. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're welcome to put them in the comment section. Until then, you have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.